Welcome to another broadcast of After News, a Broken Egg production, recapping the latest news as quickly as weeks after it has happened. Good evening, I'm Jack Newsmith, and tonight we continue our ongoing reporting of impeachment. It has been 12 days since Trump has been impeached. And to be clear, regardless of what happens next in the Senate, Trump will, for all of history, remain the third president in U.S. history to be impeached. The Senate can do nothing to undo his impeachment. The upcoming Senate hearing is to determine whether or not the impeached president will remain in office. So looking ahead at the impending Senate trial, let's review the two articles of impeachment the House voted on. Article 1, Abuse of Power, and Article 2, Obstruction of Congress. Article 1 is specific to Trump's pressuring of Ukraine to find dirt on Joe Biden, a political rival. The question at hand is, did the president abuse the power of his office in doing so? To reach the level of impeachable offense, Congress must demonstrate that the act of asking Ukraine to investigate the Bidens was not done for U.S. interest, but for Trump's own political benefit. That the charges against the Bidens are baseless, and that Trump's behavior is part of a pattern. It is not a daunting task to imagine how the mere act of asking someone to investigate a political rival could benefit the person asking for the investigation. All Trump had to do was ask, and instantly the seeds of doubt about Joe Biden's candidacy have been sown. And the claims Trump has made and continues to make about the Bidens are in fact baseless. There is nothing illegal or even unusual about people with name recognition like Hunter Biden, a trained attorney, accepting lucrative positions that Trump wants to call into question. It is all theatrics. What does matter for Trump is his ability to control the narrative about a political rival. Which, mission accomplished, because even I don't want to vote for Joe now. But it is that last point to me that is the most interesting and bears out the most fruit. Can Congress prove that Trump has demonstrated a pattern of behavior? Let's recall the 2016 election when Trump had this to say about his then political rival and winner of the 2016 election's popular vote by a margin of 3 million votes, Hillary Clinton.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
Sounds like a pattern to me. And for a person to have power, by definition, means that there is a hierarchical relationship or power dynamic of one person exerting their influence over a group of subordinates. So, what have the subordinates in Trump's circle been up to lately? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because 37 of them have been indicted, and a handful of those have already been or are still awaiting sentencing. Here are a few worth mentioning. First up, former Trump attorney Michael Cohen has received 3 years for campaign finance violations and for lying to Congress. Yes, you can go to jail for lying to the government, something that Trump might find out sooner rather than later. Then we have former Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who is still awaiting sentencing for lying to the FBI. Rick Gates is Trump's former campaign advisor and got 3 years for lying to the FBI and for conspiracy against the U.S. Conspiracy against the U.S. was one of 2 charges for Trump's campaign chairman, Paul Manafort. The other was, wait for it, obstruction of justice. Crimes for which Manafort is currently serving 7.5 years. It's worth mentioning that all of these scumbags are Trump appointees with close ties to the president. People who have been found guilty of obstructing justice and conspiring against the U.S. Conspiring against the U.S., handpicked by the president. So, either he's a part of it, or he has literally the worst judgment in the history of humanity judging things and should not be trusted to hold the highest office in the land. Tell us how you really feel, why don't you? Unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we will review the second article of impeachment, obstruction of Congress. Until then, we here at the Afternews News Network would like to wish you and yours a happy and prosperous new year.